Pain. Everyone and everything has pain receptors and nerves, unless you have a rare condition which is known as congenital insensitivity to pain. But there seems to be a universal experience of the type of pains we experience. But again, this is my personal list, and I'd like to hear if you have any other forms of pain that we all commonly experience. Honestly, I was gonna do a little segment of how we feel pain, but when I tried researching, I realized, this is kind of hard to explain in my own words, but to my knowledge on how we feel pain is pretty complex, not to mention there's different types of pain. The few I can name are chronic pain, acute pain, and neuropathic pain. But let's move past what causes pain and the scientific stuff and move on to what you clicked on here for.
Why do you have a robot as a skateboard? It's weird.
Because I can, ugly.
I'm not ugly. Shut your Princess Bubblegum looking ass up. Oh my god, get off.
This is a pretty standard type of common pain. Now I want to focus on the parts your phone can fall on. Your face, starting with your forehead. For me, when I lost my grip on my phone and it fell into my forehead, it doesn't quite hurt that much for me. I mean, it depends on if my phone falls flat on my forehead or if one of the corners land on my head. However, it does give a quiet bonk sound effect of it falling on your head. Also, does anyone else get mini headaches when it happens? I have experienced that once before, but it doesn't last long. But when your phone falls on your lip, oh my god, it feels like your lip is getting split open. I can't say much about this, so we're gonna move on to the next issue.
Should have fucking gone, but Chloe, you just.
For this one, it just sucks so bad, bro. Not to mention what degree on how hard your fingers slam against the door. It can start from just being mild to, yelling out, fuck, before you feel your fingers have that tingle and then throb due to the pain. And then you have the other side of the coin where your fingernails could just fall off. I've seen videos where somebody slammed their finger on accident and of course into the door so hard that they burst to what I assume is a blood vessel, and over time their nail just turns black and completely falls off. That is one of my fears of that happening to me. For example, I didn't slam anything against the door or anything, but for a while my pinky toe nail was rotting. The color of it in general wasn't black or anything. It was just a normal looking toenail, but it was really scratched up. But when I got into the bed and my foot rubbed against my blankets, I heard and felt a rip sound, and then I whipped my head back and I saw my pinky toenail just hanging off my toe. My heart dropped and I immediately went to see it. Underneath my the toenail that was hanging off, it was a very small toenail growing underneath my toenail that fell off. And I still don't know if my pinky toenail was falling off because it was just rotting, and if it was, I had no sign of it happening, or by some natural thing my toenail was just shedding like a skin snake, because underneath it was another nail growing underneath the fallen one. And if my pinky toenail falling off freaked me out to where there was no sign of it even happening, imagine how I would feel to see my fingernail turning black before falling off. I can't really give a pain scale on what the average pain is for slamming your fingers against the door is generally, because for me it does hurt, don't get me wrong, but it also doesn't last that long. I can only imagine what it's like for you to slam your fingers against the door so bad it causes your nail to fucking fall off.
Man, shut your.
I'm gonna say the vulgar part first, and I want to give a warning in case someone might have a weak stomach, because this kind of goes into some graphic detail but not much. Anyways, when I stub my toe, it honestly feels like my toe splits open, my toenail cracked, and every single nerve of flesh on my toe just gets exposed when I stub my toe. It feels like the muscle layer on my skin gets torn, and I feel every part of it for 2 seconds max. I know that's a little bit dramatic for stubbing your toe, but to me, that's what it feels like. And this isn't when I stub my big toe. It only feels like my toe ripped from my foot is whenever I stub my pinky toe. It's not the pain itself that makes me want to vomit. But when my pinky toe is stubbed, it's just the immediate panic I feel thinking my toes got the 2 Tsunami Fingers treatment, and then that causes me to be nauseous. It's a similar feeling whenever I'm wearing those dumbass sandals where they're like poles between your big toe and your pointer toe. Like when it's like 2 slides hard against like when it slides hard against your skin, and then like the sick thought of the plastic pole thing within the sandals just like splitting your toe in half because like you slip, and it makes me sick, man. And I'm pretty sure the reason why it hurts more to stub your pinky toe over your big toe is because your big toe has more meat and more flesh compared to the pinky. And when I do stub my big toe, sometimes I get lucky and it doesn't hurt that bad, or it does hurt, but it goes away after a few moments. I can't give my thoughts on what it's like stubbing your other toes. If you have accidentally stubbed your other toes besides your pinky toe and like your big one, please share. That would be really interesting to hear about. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this. I know this was like a short video, but again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Bye.
Tie me up and fuck me hard, oh yeah, baby. 'Cause my pussy's wet.